like your name. You'll play another game, it's gonna end the same. Oh, these kids can ball. Oh, these kids can ball. You take the snake away, we'll find another way. I'll make the 50 home, and I won't be alone. Won't let my brothers down, I gotta stick around. 5, 4, 3, 2, and done. The bracket's on the run. Oh, these kids can ball. Oh, these kids can ball.
Careful not to get a penalty. Brothers asking for a check. Brothers is playing this tight, man.
He's playing it very tight.
We've got a whole lot left in the tank today. Got a fistful of games and teams in the way. All the work that we put in, it's time for the win. I'm running down the field, never thinking I should yield. I got my finger on the trigger as my target's getting bigger. It's just another one down, and another to go. Looking left, looking right, I got them in my sights. My future's looking bright like a sunrise. Another one down, another one left to go. These kids can ball. These kids can ball. These kids can ball.
Congratulations to the infamous kids as they sew up this kids championship title. As Thomas Taylor got to be so happy.
This ain't nothing new. Or is it?
There's nothing new about kids or young gun teams in paintball. They've been around since the late 1990s. The most famous team of them all, the Iron Kids, featured players like Ryan Greenspan, Alex Fraige, and Ollie Lang, all of whom would become the core of the undisputed greatest paintball team of all time, Dynasty. During the 25 years that have passed between, teams like the Iron Kids, Saber Pups, Arsenal Kids, Hostel Kids, BC Kids, and all of the dozens of other youth teams, there has never been a true youth division in any of the major national level paintball leagues until now. The 2022 NXL World Cup introduced the first ever Young Guns 5-man division. This is the origin story about this new division, the 24 teams that entered, the journey from the months of grueling practices, all leading up to the final horn of the last game played at the 2022 World Cup. These kids can ball.
How they got started.
I started out playing at a birthday party. That was what initially got me into paintball. And then just started showing up consistently, and some people took notice, and I got sucked into the professional side of it, and I was like, now I'm full on addicted to it, so.
It all started with my friend Levi. We went to go play at a birthday party, and I just loved it so much, and ever since that, I had fun. My dad bought me my first marker, which was a mini GS, and red and orange one. And ever since that, it's just been going up, like from to a shocker amp, then to a TM40, TM40.
Well, I got a paintball gun for my birthday. We went out to play paintball, and then we got into like speedball and competitive.
I got involved by playing at a haunted house one year, and then I just liked it ever since.
So my sister, it was her birthday party, and I just started playing, and I was 8 years old.
Went to a birthday for my friend, and then just started taking it competitively.
My dad plays a lot. He plays on the D4 Misfit Toys line, is also one of the coaches for Manchester Marauders.
I used to go to the field with my dad when he used to, or when he still does play, but when he played when I was younger, I'd always used to go to the field with him, and one day I just decided to play. I had fun, and over time I just grew to the sport.
It was my dad. Same way that Dominic was introduced. He was like, do you want to play, when he got back into the sport, and I was like, yeah, it seems fun. So.
I started about 3 years ago, and I just 1v1 my dad, and I just kept playing after that.
Well, my dad, he used to play pro a long time ago, and then whenever I got old enough to like start playing, he took me out, and then I just fell in love with it.
Well, I first started playing, I went to like a paintball party, and I just started loving the sport, wanted to play it more.
I play with my dad, my brother, my sister. It's really fun because it builds our family like stronger, so we get closer together.
The funny thing is, it started with my middle son, Bradley, who never in his life played paintball, just randomly said to me, hey Dad, I want a paintball gun for my birthday. I'm like, okay. So I said, before I go ahead and spend all this money on this gear, I'm gonna take them and play some rental scenarios and see how they liked it. Well, it started with that, and then next thing you know, the other two kids joined in, and then I said, well, Dad's gotta join in too. So Steve Ross, one of my local friends, big in the paintball area, got us introduced to the Montrose Marauders, and we've been growing with them ever since.
I kind of just picked it up with like, I don't know, just as like a hobby, and I've been playing for like 1 to 2 years.
That's kind of weird. I mean, my dad played for however many years, 25, 27, I think, maybe less. I'm sure it's less. But you know, I grew up watching these like other paintball documentaries, and I mean, it just inspired me. As soon as I turned 11, he was like, "Do you want to play paintball?" And so he took me out, and I keep coming back. I couldn't get away from it. It sucked me in, dude.
Well, it started when my dad started joining a team, and then he introduced me to Biggie.
I think I got started on like a birthday party. One of my friends had a birthday party. I kind of played. I like the competitiveness of it, so it kind of stuck to me. None of them, it really kind of just stuck to me. So now I've been playing for 5 years now.
So how I got started is I got invited to my dad's friend's son's birthday party, and I tried paintball for my first time, and I really liked it, so I thought it was like a thing. So I just started playing it. I went to the camp. It's a summer camp. Started playing it. Really liked it. So that's how I got in here.
I decided to go play for one of my birthdays, and my dad came with me, but one of his, some guy touched him, and he turned around, and it was one of his old teammates that he used to play back in the 90s and early 2000s. And then I decided that I wanted to play after, so we went to PV Sports in Fort Wayne and got gear and just started playing ever since.
Because I grew up with it, I had a big brother and dad to watch. Every time they would see new cool marker, it would be like, hey, here's this. And I'm like, cool, what is that? And I think they helped with it.
So I actually went to a birthday party for my friends, and then I just pretty much wanted to do it for a sport because I wasn't playing a sport at the time.
So originally I went when I was 10, and I got beaten so bad I didn't come back for a couple of years.
Then I came back with my dad, and I was just standing in the back. He's like, no, we're going to go up and aggress. And I was like, you know what, this is pretty fun. I started coming more often. I bought my first marker. I went to my first West Coast All-Stars tryout where I found my first team, and we've just been rolling with the flow from there.
Like at my friend's birthday party, like he wanted to try it out, so we tried it out, got shot, and just fell in love from there. So it was amazing. Yeah. About half a year or 1.5 years, a year ago, I don't know how to say that. I got invited to a friend's birthday party, and fell in love with the sport.
My dad played on a pro team a while back, and once I was old enough, he brought me to the field, and we just ran into people and made a team.
Usually just from birthday parties, and I made my way up, and I kept on going, and I just found a love for the sport, and I just started going every weekend. I bought a Spider Victor, realized that was not the best gun for speedball, so I went up to a die rise CZR, and then I just kept playing, and it was amazing. I love the sport, and my love just continues to grow.
I've been playing for 2 years, and I started on Father's Day and my dad's birthday.
My dad and my brothers, they played speedball, and I seen it, and I was like, Dad, I want to do this, and then got me into it.
I went to one of my friend's birthday parties when we were 10, and I just kept on talking about it and got my parents to take me again, and I fell in love with it, and we just kept going and going. And at first I was kind of scared to get onto the speedball field, but eventually I kind of worked up the courage to get on it, and I did, and I loved it. So we just kept on playing and growing in the sport. I just continue to love it.
I went to a friend's birthday party, I loved it, and I came back. So when I came back, my mom's friend, Dan, he went to school with my mom. So he introduced me to Marauders, of course, my coach, Big E, Vin, and then he invited me to On Target. We got to hang out with a bunch of cool guys, Misfit Toys, and it was really a blast.
Me and my parents and my brother, we would always pass by the field every day, going to work and stuff, and one day we just decided, let's try it out, and it stuck and fell in love with the sport.
The origins of youth paintball.
From the very first paintball tournament ever in 1983 and through the early 90s, kids just didn't play paintball. Insurance companies wouldn't allow it, and fields didn't want it. It was in 1992 that the American Paintball League was able to get the insurance companies to lower their age minimum from 18 to 14 years old. Shortly after that, the age to play was lowered to just 10 years of age, resulting in a large growth spurt for paintball. And now there are kids playing all over the U.S. and beyond on divisional teams and even pro teams, but it's taken all these years to truly organize all youth teams, and now there is an all youth division at the World Cup. It was worth the wait.
A community comes together.
In California in 2020, the Harmons, led by Mark Gong and Machine Gun Mike Baird, two paintball legends, entered the King of the Ranch youth event, which, in the end, was a field of adult teams with only the Harmons playing as youth. The Harmons would go on to play many more events in Northern California that season, placing in the top 4 consistently. They even won the King of the Ranch 4 event, even though they were pitted against the NorCal Ghost, a team of high school kids that were bigger, faster, and more experienced.
So this whole youth division came out to be, I really think that there needed to be a youth division. There needed to be a place for kids to play paintball. We would go out to the paintball field, and my son would always say, I want to play. And it just no fields would allow them to play. So up in Northern California, there was an opportunity to have young kids play. We had people like Ryan Podesta, who had his own field. He has his own kid. He's able to play with his kid. It's just all of a sudden, all these fields in Northern California was allowing the youth players to play. So it was a great time.
I've been playing for like 23 years, and then I had my own son. And of course, when you have a kid, they're like, oh, is he gonna be like you? Is he gonna play paintball? Is he gonna play soccer? And I always joked, he's probably gonna wanna be a ballerina. And as he got older, he immediately started expressing interest in paintball. And he started playing when he was like 8. And we started him with a 50 cal, and then he started bunkering people, and the 50 cal wasn't breaking, so we had to get him a big boy paintball gun for his 9th birthday. And then he had a pretty bad experience of getting like 6 in the head from his own team, and he quit for like a year. And he was playing soccer at the time, and he was doing really well in that. They won the state championships. He got like the MVP and all that. And he's like, I'm gonna do soccer. And I'm like, all right, cool. But when COVID hit, he couldn't do soccer. And so he wanted to do paintball again. He started playing, and there wasn't a lot of kids to play with. And we had 2 or 3 kids at our field that are his buddies, and they all played together, and they were pretty good. And so we'd heard there was this King of the Ranch, and they had a youth division. And so he went and played, but it was like a mixed beginner, so it was like some adults and some kids, and he did really well.
The name the Harmons, if you look at the patch, our logo, the skull's name is Harmon. And that was going back to 85 when my dad designed the patch. When my father designed the original Ironman patch, he named the skull Harmon. So that's why we're the Harmons, because it's Harmon, the skull, on the patch.
And then the next year, across the country in Pennsylvania, at the 2021 Iron City Classic, 2 teams inspired by the late Tim Montresor took the field. There was Jennifer Montresor's team, Jen's Young Guns, and the Montresor Marauders. These 2 youth teams held their own against the 48 adult teams.
I think it really started to come together in 2021 at the Iron City Classic. Jen and I had gotten together, and then Jen had put together, Jen's Young Guns, and I put together the Montresor Marauders with her blessing, and then we really started to work.
Jen's Young Guns placed 25 out of 48. Right there, that set the stage. Kids could play. We had 2 kids come to the exhibition, which was, 5 months later, World Cup Kids Exhibition. And we had 2 Montresor Marauders. We had little Matt Mahone, and of course we had little Dominic Nates. Well, he was the star. He really was, right? He ran that tape, went down, killed his opponent down on the home base, went and tagged the buzzard, and the crowds just erupted. He had the little red mohawk like Tom Taylor. But that was the start, and then we needed to do something. The kids can play. There's a place for kids. There's always a place. There's a place in paintball for everybody, no matter what the age is. The women are making a mark right now. Kids are going to make a mark. We've got woods ball coming back. I think it represents the sport is for anybody.
And it was about that same time I started to talk to Mark Gong and some of the others and really start to put together some ideas. B. Paxson had approached us about trying to get something together. Her daughter, BB, was starting to play. And we really kind of just start put things together. And so between that event and World Cup, we kind of put together the idea about doing an exhibition match. And so that kind of came about. And then that was such a huge hit. And I know so many people had seen that, and it was so amazing, to see those kids playing on the pro field. And I think that was the moment where we said, this is it, green light. We need to go pedal to the metal. What do we need to do to make this a real thing? What do we need to do to make this a division at World Cup? And it's been all in ever since.
While all of this was going on, B. Youngs, owner of the Destiny franchise, had been speaking to Tom Cole, president of the National X-Ball League, about starting a youth division. At the same time, after watching her kids' team at the ICC, Jennifer Montresor, with the help of Eric, Big E, Holland, gave a proposal to the NXL regarding a youth division.
Last year when Tom Cole asked me what I thought about adding the women's NXL, I said, well, I think it's cool, but I think you would be better off if you added a youth division. And so my mission was to prove to him that there is a market. And so I said, okay, if you would allow us, let's have a youth exhibition during World Cup 2022 or 2021. So he allowed it. He's like, you got to do all the legwork though and get all your peeps together and etc.
Things began to fall into place, and 4 months later, there was a youth division exhibition at the 2021 NXL World Cup.
The Montresor Marauders, and we've got Matt Mahoney and Dominic Nates playing and representing Montresor Marauders here in this youth exhibition.
Very, very cool.
So 20 seconds to go before the start of this last game. And throwing 5 minutes on the clock, you got AC Kids there on your screen, and there is the team speed.
I think one of the Destiny NOLA kids put on an AC Kids outfit, so they all look the same, their uniform.
Nice.
Sneaky.
Sneaky.
Very sneaky.
Looks like Dominic's going to try to
go.
go.
Oh, look at him go! They both went right into it.
Oh, Nico got shot.
Nico.
That kid that took the snake for AC, though, was super athletic. He got there just as fast as the pro guys.
Oh, there he goes. Thomas Taylor's coming.
Dominic went to get him.
Yeah, Dominic tried to get him, but got shot before he got there. Yep, so
nice move anyway.
AC Kids has just been handling business from that. Snake 50. See the lineup on the D side here for AC Kids, but this is a guy that's doing the work right now.
Yeah, man, he's super athletic. I'm not sure who that is for AC Kids, but he took that 50 snake. Looked super athletic with the inside out route. Looked just like one of the pros.
Well, he's getting some help on the D side now. They're just trying to close this point out. They got a high body situation. I don't think anyone's been shot yet.
Yeah,
so
5-on-1.
Oh, just as I say that, though, they do lose that body from the snake side 50. And still a body left alive at the tower. I don't see. I think that might be the last body left alive. Maybe, no, and up in the, D3?
Oh, they got another one up there? Great. Oh.
No, that's the opponents, actually.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, that's Matt from Montresor Marauders losing his mind.
Yeah, he was definitely giving that one of his opponents a little piece of his mind for sure. Yep. Screaming, pointing, crossfield. I shot that guy.
I shot him.
If my hopper
12
wasn't
years
jammed.
old and already has the spirit.
Yeah,
He's got it.
Future pro right there. Say hi.
Thumbs up from the ref, and that is going to do it. So
yes,
AC Kids putting another win up here, and they look pretty good. AC Kids actually won all of their games.
AC Kids with Jaden Ortez, Ashton Wright, Hudson Dunphy, Chase Brown, and Brandon Verdon, all between the ages of 12 and 16.
Nice.
The NXL agrees. A committee is formed.
Once the okay to add the youth division to the World Cup was given by NXL, President Tom Cole, a committee of youth team captains, owners, and coaches was formed to begin to write the rules, figure out the prize package, and work on logistics. Some of the early planners included Jennifer Montresor, Mark Gong, B. Youngs Paxton, Eric Big E. Holland, Steve Ross, Andy Starrett of the Allie Remembered Foundation, Neil Chitterton, and Thomas Taylor, to name a few.
B has been helpful. I know that she and I sat down, we went to Paintball Extravaganza, and we spent quite a while talking about it. Neil's been fantastic. It's been an entire community effort. I mean, we've created kind of this chat organization for all the parents and coaches to get together, share ideas, talk about, things, teams are having issues, or how do you go about sponsorship and things like that. And we're sharing all that pieces of information. One of the things I know that Mark and I did a little bit different is from the get-go, we decided to do this as a charity. We're both 501c3s, for different reasons. And we wanted to make sure that we had an opportunity for people to give to our organizations, for us to be able to give back. Paintball has been so enriching to my life, from the time I was 15. And what could I do to give back to the sport?
The hard work begins.
Back up as far as you can to this thing, as tall as you can up on your tippy toes. Put that tank up here. So when it goes, you're leaning back into this bunker. Okay? Over the top. If you're down here like this, you're low. Look at my feet are together. It's not conventional. I'm as tall as I can. And I bring that right up to here. Then he goes by. Now I walk right up into the bunker.
Preparing for the 2022 World Cup was different for every team. The West Coast All-Stars were made up of some of the best youth players from several teams, including the Harmons, West Coast Sharks, Young Guns, and Gray Area Squids, all of whom competed at every 2021 King of the Ranch series of tournaments. There were other teams with a player here and there with D4 or D5 experience, and teams like Savage Patch Kids, Maui Misfit Minis, DMG Kids Gold, Rico's Rockstars, and Destiny's Shenana Kids, with all unranked and or actual beginner players. In the months leading up to the World Cup, most of the teams were practicing, scrimmaging, or playing an event here or there to get ready, or somewhere in between. Savage Patch Kids, coached by Neil Chittenden, had his 2 sons ready to go, with 2 kids added in the months leading up to the Cup. Neither the team nor the coach met their 5th and 6th players, Abel Cavillo and Lucas Tamura, until Friday and Saturday of the Cup. The coaches put their hearts and souls into their teams. Stepping up your game in paintball takes more than just playing games. It takes discipline, technique, respect, and flat-out hard work, and these coaches gave the kids what they needed.
We have 3 cups. Get behind the wall. I'm going to call out a cup. You're going to snap that cup 1 shot. Ready? Red. Purple. Red. Faster. Pink. Red. Red. Purple. Pink. Red. Red.
We talked about picking battles down the snake and being smart about that. All you guys are doing a better job of that, smart and stuff. Also, don't shoot your own team. I didn't think I had to say that, but it's happened multiple times where I've gotten it twice today by his own team. So let's not shoot our own teams and hurts us. Okay? All right.
Sportsmen, right? Make sure that you honor the reason why y'all are wearing these jerseys. Okay? That's the most important, to show the honor. And that's good sportsmanship, all right? Have fun. You'll take your lumps, you'll give some lumps. It's the start of the season, right? All right, not everybody's gonna be dynamite. Y'all have seen us look like a bunch of idiots. I've ran into paint, Rob's ran into paint, Jesse's ran into paint. It happens. You're gonna have good points and bad points. Don't get down on yourself, don't get down on your teammates, all right? You fix the problem, and you go out and you get the next point. Handshakes, positivity, knuckles. Make sure you show each other the respect, okay? Guys, go have fun, all right? Put it in there and be a big squad. Go ahead.
Tim on 40, or Tim.
Team 40.
1, 2, 3. Team 40. If we say disco, 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 okay, that means you kill somebody on the D side, okay? If we say Sosa, okay, Sosa, Sosa, that means you kill someone on the snake side. D, disco, Sosa the D, Doritos, okay? S, snake, Sosa. All right, guys, everyone got it? Hey, make sure you go all the way in, okay? You have to go all the way in.
Get that elbow in.
Yep. All right, so Mason, try this, right?
No, teach you how to get down the field. No one's looking, so we move, we do this, we do this. In 5-man, it's controlled. Ones go 1, twos come up, communication's there.
The tail end of this summer, because in Wisconsin we already took down our field. It got cold, and but we basically started this whole thing with a Nick Sloviak clinic. We had him come out and work with the boys, and then we have a couple local teams. We have a team called The Boys. A few of them are Acadians, have been Acadians, and they've been helping us out quite a bit, coming to our field and working with the kids. We have Central Wisconsin Disengaged, some guys that used to play about 8 years ago, and now they're getting back into it. And they pretty much adopted Connor, and it's been a tug of war with him, whether he's playing with us or playing with them, but he's doing his best to time manage. So, but yeah.
Bunker him, bunker him, bunker him. Hit the disc.
Momentum is building.
It's August, and the momentum for the youth division is building. There are now several Facebook groups formed, team owner and captain messenger chats going, the film These Kids Can Ball is announced, and talk on social media platforms is growing. There are 16 teams committed and ready to make Kissimmee, Florida their November paintball destination. By the time the 16 teams are announced, the list had already grown to 22 teams.
In order for this youth movement to continue to grow, we need publicity, and that's what we're getting. It's really, we started the Harmons a year and a half ago, and there was other kids groups out there, but I think we were doing it a little bit more aggressively with social media than other groups were. And then really teams started popping up, and we weren't the first ones, but I think we did a little bit better. We're in the forefront of it, and that really got other people to be organized as actual teams, and it's finally getting the notoriety. We made it happen here at the World Cup, and there's 23 teams here from all over. You got a team from Hawaii. The Maui Misfits kids are from Hawaii. They're here. There's a lot of kids that aren't on teams that are here because they have a parent playing in it, and so there's a couple throw together teams for the youth division. And now that I believe that once this is seen worldwide, it's going to explode. Because there's going to be more people out there putting kids teams together once they see that it can actually be done, and that there's real competition and real growth in it. I think it's going to explode.
I think that this is really going to take the NXL and flip it over, because I see so many kids who are just hungry. They can see the pros, and what they want to do, and that's what they want to do. They want to go out and they want to play on, on the airball fields and kind of get into it. And there really hasn't been a good way for them to do that. There hasn't been some sort of guiding body. And one of the things that I think is so amazing about everything that we've done over the past year is we've all come together as a community, and we're sharing ideas and focus and trying to get everybody kind of on the same page. And I wouldn't call it a league, but basically coming together and saying, what can we do to help promote youth paintball, in a safe and an amazing way. So.
And just something to build on, another avenue into getting to the pros, and just getting the kids involved is huge. Just being here with these kids and seeing all these other kids and these other teams, I've been telling people, I don't feel like we're coming here to play against these other kids. We're just here to play with these other kids. It's a playground, and we're just here to play, and I feel like all these kids' teams are feeling the same way. Like, we're just happy to be here.
What I see with this whole movement, especially the new people involved in the sport. There's so many new parents whose kids play that the parents weren't players. And what they're seeing is this community. Paintball is truly a worldwide community, unlike any other sport, activity, club. There's a community in paintball that no other group has.
I believe that it causes longevity, and it also allows us to pass the torch properly. I think some of the things that we haven't done very well, and again, I'm one of them, is the ability for us to kind of teach the ones that are coming up behind us, because, Oliver Lang is here. Ryan Greenspan is still killing it. Alex Fraige is still killing it. Carl Murkowski is back. You know what I'm saying? And so it's almost like, oof, I love that we still have our OGs, but we kind of need to mold our younger peeps to kind of make it even more big, and also to even add more pro teams for that matter. And so I think doing something like this is probably the beginning of kind of creating the right kind of association that we need to build.
Working on their game.
While most of the teams practiced nearly every weekend leading up to the World Cup, many of the youth worked on their individual skills at home during the week.
I've been practicing. When I go to the snake, as soon as I put in my guy, and I'm at the 50, I just start picking people off.
I'm practicing on Doritos and moving up.
I'm just working on my communication. Sometimes it's hard because you get tunnel vision.
I'm really trying to work on moving, being more aggressive in my moves, and moving smarter.
I'm working on my endurance and snake crawling around.
I'm working on being a better teammate. I think I have everything down, playing wise, but I realize I'm not being exactly a team player. And I need to work on that, with things like communication, off the field, just talking, bonding, just being a better teammate. Because I do, go quiet on the field and just play by myself, really. I'm trying to work on not doing that.
Lateral sliding, diving, working on a lot of lanes for paintball.
I'm definitely working on staying, just playing tighter. In paintball, I'm definitely working on just getting better in general, getting more aggressive and quick thinking, working on that.
I'm working on bunkering. I'm working on bunkering people.
I'd say one skill set that I'm working on a lot right now is staying low when I'm moving in the snake, because I like to play the snake. So staying low and not being too vulnerable.
The aggression and just getting the shots.
Running, just fitness and stuff, hand-eye coordination, just overall being healthy.
Mainly my speed.
Right now, I'm working on my communication and my aggressiveness on the fields.
Working on my my breathing and endurance is the word. Endurance. Okay. Because I get winded in snake, so.
My snap shooting.
Probably mindset and keeping a cool mindset, staying focused. One of my idols, Nick Sloviak, actually told me that it's just as important on the field as off the field with your mindset, and once you step on the field, that needs to be your only focus for you to play 100%.
Really just over my fundamentals and working on everything. I mean, there's not really one thing we set or go to. We kind of just set on everything. I don't know.
Probably communication and just talking.
So currently we're working on snap shooting drills for me personally, snap shooting and working off of my legs, because recently they've been kind of hurting, and I'm trying to get better at that so it doesn't hurt.
Traveling to the Cup. Nicole says not so fast.
It's finally here, the days, not months, leading up to the World Cup. Suddenly, weather forecast takes a major turn for the worst, and a tropical storm or hurricane is forecasted.
We are on the road to Cup. Woo! How you feeling, Matt?
Good.
So excited. We got a Montrester Marauder. I'm a paintball mom. We're leaving here from Philadelphia. We've got about a 15-hour car ride. Woo! Paintball mom, going to the World Cup. We're in Virginia.
Hey, where's my pink luggage?
What? I agree with you, but I'm not gonna say anything.
I was gonna buy a bag.
Camera. Like, I agree. I've not seen like a solid Dorito camera. I was right.
Yes.
So here's your system developing to the east of the Bahamas, and it is now what we call a subtropical storm. This doesn't look purely tropical in nature, and it's not.
Winds of 70 miles per hour maximum sustained, so no change with that. The storm, Tropical Storm Nicole, is moving west at 13 miles per hour, and it is raking over the northwest Bahamas, bringing some storm surge over toward Grand Bahama, and I'm sure our hurricane specialist and storm surge expert will detail that more.
Nicole made landfall as a Category 1 hurricane about 3 o'clock this morning, right near Vero Beach.
There were more than 100 cancellations over the weekend, dozens more today at Orlando International Airport.
I talked with a woman who was supposed to fly out of Orlando. Of course, her flight was canceled. All the flights have been canceled.
Flights are canceled, rental cars are few and far between, and the teams that have not arrived on Wednesday may not make it. The NXL decides to shut down the event on Thursday, as this was the worst day in the forecast, and the Orlando airport announced it would be closed.
One thing I've learned over the years with paintball is the journey is probably 75% of the event. Number one, because of getting there. You know, most of the big events aren't anywhere near Wisconsin, so we have to travel. That makes it exciting. And then, of course, the people you're traveling with. That's always been why I'm in paintball. Like, yeah, you can shoot paintball anywhere, but getting those people together and then all those other groups coming together, that's just what makes the sport. So, yeah, the journey's always exciting.
We live in Southern California, and he was supposed to fly out Wednesday. I was supposed to fly out Friday. Flights were canceled, tried to rebook. He was supposed to fly on the red eye out Wednesday night. Couldn't find anything reasonable. Tried Birmingham, Dallas, Atlanta, and then we were going to rent a car and drive. It just wasn't an option to get him here in time. So at 3:30 Thursday morning, we decided we're driving. Picked up one of his best friends, and we drove straight through. It was a good 40 hours. 2 pit stops along the way. His friend Sky helped drive from San Antonio to Houston while I got a few hours of sleep. We got in late last night, between 8 and 9 o'clock, and got a few hours of sleep, and we're at the field this morning.
The travel situation was wild. Getting to the event was amazing. My flight was scheduled for Wednesday, and we received notice. Everybody received notice that on Tuesday that tropical storm had escalated into Hurricane Nicole. So flights were being canceled, airports were being closed. As soon as I got the notice, I actually called the airline. I notified them that Orlando airport was going to be closed. But I got lucky. I was able to borrow a car from my boss right away. He filled up the tank with gas and checked the air pressure on the tires and made sure everything was good to go. And he looked at me and he's like, I don't know who flies into a hurricane, but be safe. So yeah, the ride down was pretty mundane until I got to Georgia, and then right around the border, the state line, you started to see the tractor trailers were all lined up, and people were starting to batten down the hatches and start to take safety precautions. So it was windy. It was windy.
Wow. So if you could only imagine getting a notice from the airlines saying that Orlando was canceled after 4 p.m. on Wednesday, and that's the day that we were all flying in. So the trek started from San Francisco area, and we worked our way to Long Beach, to Houston, Houston to Jacksonville. So we got to Jacksonville and we said, okay, you know what, we're going to stay the night. So we booked a hotel, only to find out when we got to the hotel that the hotel was fully booked. We didn't have a place to stay. I decided to make the trek all the way down to Kissimmee in the middle of a hurricane. So we drove literally on the 4 all the way down to Kissimmee.
Teams arrive.
Thankfully, Central Florida was not hit hard by Hurricane Nicole. Despite record damage and devastation in southwest Florida, the Maui Misfit Minis seemed the least likely to make the event, but somehow, after multiple canceled flights and rebookings, they are here. The West Coast teams make it, although some of them had to fly into Atlanta and drive 6 hours to Orlando. Many of the divisional teams missed the cup, but somehow the youth division is intact. Every team made it. On Thursday morning, teams began to arrive at the house for the documentary film interviews. Later that afternoon was the youth team's meet and greet at the field, and it was a smashing success. While the kids and their families were in Kissimmee mainly for World Cup, many took time before or after the games were played to have some family time together.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Chop, chop, chop. Happy birthday to Jaden. Ooh la la. Happy birthday to you.
This is Gage's first time and Junior's first time to Disney World.
Haven't seen this.
Monkey with a Gun presents. No, we haven't seen this. We started playing paintball in February. Graylin, have you seen Serial Killers?
Well, your dad's been playing for like 20 years.
Classic.
How many times has he made you watch this?
I've been watching this since I was like 2, okay? Yeah. I've memorized every song to this.
Yeah. We listen to the soundtrack to this.
You like the soundtrack?
No,
and
no.
And look, there's Alex Fraige and Lang. And
yeah, dude. This is real shit right here.
Let the games begin.
"24 teams entered the youth division of the World Cup. Yes, there were paintball games to be played, and in some way, it almost felt anticlimactic. Wasted Kids and West Coast All-Stars Black each won all 7 of their preliminary rounds, and both seemed almost unbeatable. Destiny Kids won 6 of their 7 first-round games. SQD Best Kids in Cali, Maui Misfit Minis, Montresor's Marauders, Empire State, ML Kids, Infamous Kids, Dangerous Toys, Savage Patch Kids, and West Coast All-Stars Blue all made the cut.
I hear you are afraid these kids will wreck your name. You play another game, it's gonna end the same. Oh, these kids can ball. Oh, these kids can ball. You take the snake away, we'll find another way. I'll make the 50 home, and I won't be alone. Won't let my brothers down, I gotta stick around. 5, 4, 3, 2, and done. The bracket's on the run. Oh, these kids can ball. Oh, these kids can ball. We've got a whole lot left in the tank today. Got a fistful of games and teams in the way. All the work that we put in, it's time for the win. I'm running down the field, never thinking I should yield. I got my finger on the trigger as my target's getting bigger. It's just another one down and another to go. Looking left, looking right, I got them in my sights. My future's looking bright like a sunrise. Another one down, another one left to go. These kids can ball.
In the Ocho Finals, Dangerous Toys won their best of 3 series against Savage Patch Kids with 2 wins.
Let's go, ladies. Come on, Peanut.
SQD, Best Kids in Cali, won their 2 against the West Coast All-Stars Blue. And Infamous Kids took 2 straight against the Montresor Marauders, Empire State. Dangerous Toys moved on, sending the ML Kids home. Destiny Kids and Wasted Kids battled in the semifinals, with Destiny taking 2 of 3. Infamous Kids keep rolling, sweeping Dangerous Toys.
And with guidance help, I'm back here, that outside. Port it over, with guidance help. Listen, he uses your name and he says that Macy, Ladrino's gonna go. You switch, shoot that. Kobe, Ladrino's gonna go. You switch, you shoot that. Catch that guy in the middle, get the free kill. Get the free kill. He's on the outside, right? Okay? Gage, I want to hear that home run, Damien, okay? If by some chance we lose Damien in here, we're still finding his pocket. We just sit here and we grind and grind and grind. They can come through our guns. We got it crossed up. They can't come get us, okay? Yeah, so you're shooting through the shoot. You're going to let her off the break. Okay?
The stage is set for Infamous Kids versus Destiny Kids to play for first and second place.
Team Squad! Hey, I believe in you guys, all right? I believe in you.
Welcome back. 2022 NXL World Cup, brought to you by Bunker Kings. I'm Matty Marshall. I got Machine Gun Mike, legendary OG NorCal baller from back in the day here, sitting to call this kids championship. Mike, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great. It's been a great time. This whole youth experience, the explosion of the youth paintball that we got going on. It's a good time.
So so your kids here, and I mean, how much familiarity do you have with some of these teams out here?
Well, we played against them, in the prelims. So some.
This is definitely Destiny's Kids' point to win. They have Hodges and Snake too. They got another body who's at the wedge, and looks like
Dorito won.
Riley here for, let's see, for Destiny's Kids. Yeah, Jacob Riley. Good little 1-2 combo. See what they do with this here. Is there's not a ton of time in these matches.
Oh, Riley just moved it up to the monster there in the middle, center 50.
So talk to me about this format, Mike. As far as is there a mercy rule? Obviously, not a lot of time to work with. Is it a race to?
No, this is a race to 2 right now.
Okay, race to 2.
It's 5-man format, so it's one and done in the prelims. Then once you get past the prelims, it's race to 2.
And which is really tough, though, right? Because there's points that come at a premium. You don't have a lot to work with.
No,
15 minutes on the clock.
No, you can't concede. Everything is all or nothing with this. And it got down to a 1v1. One of the quarterfinal games, or a playing game yesterday.
Well, I got some red and gold coins courtesy of Coin Duel and Hormesis to give away if anyone wins a one-on-one. But it looks like Riley getting shot out of that center. So Infamous Kids getting into the snake here in a kind of a difficult situation. They are losing another body, though, from that D side, and the side completely blown open, actually getting taken out. So just 2 bodies left alive for Infamous Kids, but eating up that attacker, actually trading out. So it may be a one-on-one right here.
Yeah, there he goes. The rundown for the win, for the point.
So Infamous Kids, that's Gage Amaya. Gage Amaya gonna bunker out his opponent, and there still actually was one body, it looked like, left alive, I think for Destiny over on that D side, but didn't know that this snake side was completely blown open. First and second place, this game brought to you by Lyric Text. Be sure to download the app. You can use song lyrics to send memes to your friends.
Last one off the break. Destiny's Kids lost their snake player off the break. And he took a big bite. He was going after Snake 1.
Yeah, so 2 teams switching sides. Infamous Kids on the right-hand side now.
And all the way up at the Snake 50, crossing the 50 on the Snake, is Infamous.
Destiny's Kids losing a body, trying to get out wide, Snake side.
Filling out there to cover the snake, and here comes another one filling out wide.
Mike, look at this big move. All the way across. That's a huge bite.
All the way from Dorito Corner.
Made it clean.
The temple.
Made it clean.
Yeah, but they needed somebody there, and props to him, props to the kid for recognizing it.
Yeah, and that's just a ball drop for Infamous Kids by not putting a gun on that lane. They kind of got their backs to a wall right now here, Mike.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because they really need to hold off this attack they know is going to come from the Infamous Kids. They're in some decent defensive spots because of that awesome move for the coast-to-coast run to get out to this back corner.
And looks like it's a 3-on-2 right now. Nobody's being the aggressor at this point, but. Yeah, there's, I believe it's 4 minutes.
3 minutes left to go.
Okay.
Oh, they get that kill.
Wow.
This could be it here, Mike. As soon as they
recognize
bodies, yeah.
they recognize that they should be going. This snake guy should be. There he goes on the move.
Yeah, Thomas Taylor. So this is Thomas Taylor's son's team.
Yeah.
And he gets that crossbow kill. Looks like Damien here for Infamous Kids to get that kill, and that might be it here, as Infamous Kids have done the work they needed to do to win this kids championship.
Yeah. Well, checking each other. That's the way they're supposed to.
Oh yeah, you got to make sure at this point. This is the winning buzzer hit right here.
It looks like 4 of them left alive.
Congratulations to the Infamous Kids as they sew up this kids championship title. As Thomas Taylor got to be so happy with how this came together. And if you want to purchase some of Thomas Taylor's goggles, go to thomastaylor.com. He's got those nice brand new Skull. That's probably one of the coolest push goggles I've ever seen. It's not a Hormesis push goggle. So yeah, awesome job by the Infamous kids and winning 2 in a row here in the race to 2.
When I heard about World Cup and my parents told me about it, they were like, oh, is this something you want to do? And instantly I got chills down my spine and I was just like, this is definitely something we want to do. And I remember after flying out and getting situated, we went to the field, watched for a little bit, figured out our field we were going to play on. And then it came game day, which was Saturday of the whole paintball weekend. So we go get ready to play. And I remember just getting my gear on and everything. And when I was headed towards the pits, like I could just see my hands shaking and just like, I was so nervous, but like super excited at the same time. And we played the round robin, and we were supposed to get 8 matches, but we ended up only getting 7. We won our first 3, then we lost 2, then we won another one, and we lost another one. My hopes were like kind of demolished at that point. I was like, I don't know if we're gonna make it and even any of the seeds. And then I think it was like 45 minutes went by and we found out we were last place in the last seed and we barely made it.
In the beginning, we were winning our matches, but it was a little harder than what we expected. And then later, in the prelims, we weren't doing as well. And then we got that little piece of luck going into the quarterfinals and went undefeated after that.
So we actually had only about a month to practice before Cup, which is a very short time to, really like get that trust with each other. But I felt like we all had that connection with each other. We all had that fire in us, like that we wanted this, that we knew that we could do this. Then
playoffs came. And I was like, okay, my hopes are kind of there. There's a chance we could still win, but we have to win every single game. So we played 4 games, which is 8 points. We played 8 points total. And we ended up going undefeated from the playoffs up until first and second, and I mean, when we first got there, I wasn't sure how all the teams looked, what we were playing up against, because, I mean, we've only had a couple weeks to put this team together and play. And so right after we found out that we were gonna play for first and second, the other teams, it was getting dark, so they were like, we can either schedule this for tomorrow or you guys can play now right here on this field. And knowing us, we obviously wanted to play on the pro field and be able to say we made it to Paintball Sunday. And that's just like being able to play at World Cup on Sunday in the finals is there's nothing bigger than that. That's the best. And at that point, I just knew we were gonna win because we played and worked so hard. That's probably the best I've ever played, was in the playoffs. And leading up to that, I was just like, we're gonna win, we're gonna do it. And I just remember the first point and I was like, okay, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm going snake off break. And I made it and I was just shocked. And then I just kept crying with hundreds of people watching me. I didn't even notice it and I just zoned it all out and I was like, this is just a simple game of paintball. And then after that we won, and then we won our second point and that was it. I remember crawling down the snake doing the same play. And after that I killed the corner and then looked over, shot across the field, killed the last guy, ran down, and we won, and that was it. And that was probably just one of the best feelings I've ever experienced.
We were on a roll and we wanted to keep that going. And we didn't lose once in the end. It was just nonstop winning and winning and winning.
I expected to place at least podium for how much we practice, and compared to the other teams, we practice day and night. So
the Infamous kids, man, just a ragtag bunch of kids from the local field, Impact Action Sports. All these kids I got to watch play paintball over the last year, playing 3-man on different teams, and then I kind of said, hey, these kids would be good for the team. These kids would be good for the team. I started reaching out to them, and we created this team, and they have become this just family. I mean, I couldn't imagine it in a million years that over such a short period of time that they would have bonded so much. I mean, they're goofy and funny and crazy and wild, and like you put them in a room and it's a tornado. But you put them on the field and they are machines. They are machines. You know, I think it comes from a lot of things. They have, you know, good parents that want them to do well and that are willing to allow me to coach them. Pete, you know, the son of Pete, the father of Kobe and Damian, you know, he was my right-hand man, assistant coach, helping me make sure when I went off to practice, I gave him drills and plays, and he would make them run them, you know. So like, what I'm getting at is like we have this family bond, right? You know, Tyler, Skylar's dad, right? He plays paintball, so we kind of had all this bond, and everybody kind of came together. But man, these kids are awesome. We got, you know, a brother and a brother. We got a brother and a sister. They're playing together on a team, so we got that dynamic. We got my son and my daughter, right? So you got these pairs, you know. And then you have Patrick and you got Sky, and they've just become a family, and a family that is willing to do what it takes.
These kids are the future of the game. They are being coached, groomed, and prepared to climb the rankings ladder quickly. And they're being taught by their parents and coaches to be prepared for whatever life brings them. Will they remain in paintball? This is how they answer the question, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
5 years, I feel like I'm going to be already on the pro field shredding people down.
I hope to see myself getting up the ranks, hopefully semi-pro, D1, D2, that kind of ranking high.
Probably D3.
Hopefully I've graduated high school, but I see myself doing the same thing, you know, traveling, goofing around with my friends in hotels and stuff. Hopefully, you know, I will be ranking up, so you might see me one day.
Playing paintball every day.
Hopefully being a pro. That's my life goal, is being a pro.
I see myself on the pro fields and also having another job.
Where do I see paintball taking me in 5 years? I don't really know. I feel like I would want to get better, but I don't want to be like pro level, because then we don't get to play that many events, and then it's like expensive, so.
Hopefully playing for a D2 or D3 team.
Like in paintball? Higher in the ranks. I'd like to start playing for Energy Elite Alphas, since I've met them already. Best pro in the world.
In 5 years, hopefully I'm playing for like a D3, D2 team.
Definitely still playing paintball. Probably have a nice job or something like that, I don't know. I just want to keep playing paintball and then keep going up the ranks, you know, because I've only been playing for 3 years, and I mean, a lot's happened.
I see myself having fun, just trying to live the best life I could.
I see myself on NYX playing pro.
Definitely in finance school, probably still playing paintball, but looking to become a mortgage broker.
A pro paintballer.
In 5 years, probably like college, probably like college, still playing paintball. I don't know.
Hopefully, if I graduate high school, which I think I will, I hope to continue in the sport and work my way up the levels.
In 5 years, I want to be contending at the pro level, if not around that level of skill.
In 5 years, I see myself hopefully playing pro on the Danish Dads.
Probably at least D2, D3, somewhere around professional. But I really hope I stay in the sport, and I'm trying my best to do that. And just try to be the best for the community, so me and other people in the paintball community don't want to quit. And I really just hope the sport continues to grow, because there's a lot of people in the sport, but not as much as there should be.
I kind of see myself in 5 years, like probably trying to play pro, like.
But they keep you around for some reason.
Well, it's mainly because I carry the team on my back, but I think that's the only reason why.
Once we go back to World Cup, because at 4, I'm gonna pod run for AC Diesel again. Because I pod run for I pod run for Infamous, and I wiped down all the guys on Heat, and then I'm going to pod run for AC Diesel at 4, and then probably going to wipe down all the guys at 130 for Paintball Fit. So.
Awesome. So you're like the main man over at the field.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody knows who you are.
Yeah, everybody does.
If you can slowly say your name and what team you play for.
Okay, wait, what, World Cup team or like?
Both.
Oh, yeah.
Both if you want. Just nice and slow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Alright, yeah, so just real slow, just tell me your name and what teams you play for.
Like right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Tell me about your teammates. What are they like?
Well, my teammates, gosh, I keep saying, let's redo that.
Okay.
Sorry. Yeah. My teammates they're really good teammates. Hold on, I don't know what I'm saying. Last one. Okay. I gotta think about this.
I like being able to shoot at people and hurting them without getting in trouble.
The experience I have from playing, previous coaching, semi-pro teams, D2 teams, D3 teams, D4, D5 teams. I've got to coach all of it over the years, brand new players and so forth. But having my background of playing as many events as I have, understanding what a team's doing, when they're doing it, how they're doing it, and truly understanding how to get the best performance out of the players that I'm coaching. Because I can watch a person play over 2 days and I can tell them they're playing the wrong position. Your body type isn't the way you act, the way your mannerisms, the way you speak. I can know it after that. This isn't the position for you right now. We can train you to do that. Sometimes I got to tell people straight up, you're never going to play that position. I know you want to, but you're just not built for it. So there's certain things that we're born with that allow us to be the paintball players that we are, right? I'm naturally aggressive, in your face. I don't mind pain. Front player, wow, go figure, right? So there's certain things we can't do that. But going into this and coaching kids, yeah, I'm going to have an advantage over the parents or other coaches because 1, I've been coached by the best players in the world. 2, I've played against the best players in the world. 3, I've seen it all. 4, I've coached a lot over the years.
These people don't have real guns. You don't know any of these people.
Traffic, and in particular, the weapons
you probably could lose your head.
have many observers concerned.
Not a game.
Getting hurt in the game is not the issue at all.
I think that's
what you are getting a rush to is violence.
The purpose is to execute, to kill another member of the human race.
Dr. Thomas Radecki of the National Coalition on TV Violence claims the survival game is the closest thing he's ever seen to killing people for fun.
Paintball is its own culture. It has its own equipment, its own apparel lines, its own lingo, online presence, magazines, video channels, films, influencers, books, podcasts, and live streams.
So it's going to be 3-on-3.
It's been featured in movies, video games, TV shows, music videos, national newspapers and magazines, and it is played all over the world. But it wasn't always this way. 12 men played a kids game, but 1 man birthed an industry. Hundreds would shape the game, millions would play it. There were those that tried to stop the game in its tracks.
Active in our city, I have a real problem with that.
Playing with fantasies of tracking down, hunting, and murdering people.
and those that would stop at nothing to preserve it.
Who, by the way, by his own admission, has never seen the game.
I'm not saying everybody agrees with that
You get an adrenaline rush from this game, unlike anything that I've ever encountered before. Little children love to be thrown up in the air. They get some kind of thrill out of a fear that's not really there. It's an illusion.
The game that was called Survival ironically had to fight to survive.
You were camouflage, you were kind of a crazy person and a wild person, had very bad aura to it.
This is the story of those that created the game, preserved it, and built its gear, the playing fields, international presence, tournament circuits, scenario games, teams, media, and its long-lasting culture. This is the real story of the game of paintball. This is the complete history of paintball.